All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is July the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
I'm not superstitious, so I guess if you're superstitious, then hey, maybe an interesting day. I'm not superstitious, you?
No.
So no worries here for Friday.
No, but it was Friday the 13th for a player today.
Yeah, there was quite a Friday the 13th tennis match today. We'll discuss that. So we are here for the men's semifinal action from today at Wimbledon. It's been a very long day, and you probably already know this. Results from today and discussion from today, and as well random tennis news, comments, whatever else that generally tends to come up as it always seems to do so. And just to reiterate, the women's final on schedule for tomorrow. So as always, we always start with viewer comments and discussions from the previous day after that show has been recorded. Again, this is show number 46. 46. Big time. Great job. 46, and appreciate all you guys that comment and discuss and keep us pushing forward as well. So all thanks to you. But we had who was a first-time comment leaver or viewer that left a comment.
That's great. I love that.
Just the other day, and he commented again just last night. And we had a nice discussion. Other than that discussion, it was a relatively quiet comment evening, so keep the comments coming. We read them and do our best to get back to them and then to address them here on the show. Mm-hmm. So there were some great facts that, again, Rajesh brought up. And again, if you read the comments, Rajesh Kumar, the gentleman, has come up with some really good facts. And last night, some facts about his thoughts, or not facts, but his projection for the finals of Wimbledon. In that, again, he liked the final of Anderson against Djokovic in the final, and I think we both agree with that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Anderson. Well, we know as we all know, he won today. But I had picked Anderson, so had you.
So I had anticipated this being a very quick day. We got up early and we had a match. We played a match today, and we'll discuss that. Carla and I had one of our sets head to head. We had hit record on the Anderson-Isner match, thinking we'd come back and we would see the end of it, or just watch it through, whatever. Only to have that go on for a very long time, and we're going to get into that as well. So yesterday we were discussing the Anderson-Isner match and how when these type of players match up with one another, the scores are generally 7-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6s. The match today, I think, followed that exact thing we've been talking about for a couple of weeks with big servers facing off one another. We have the probability of a match going very long and very, at some point, very boring and tiring to even watch, right?
It was so boring, sorry. So boring that it messed up me watching the next match.
Yeah,
Took the excitement out of the next match.
So I only bring this up. We talked about this yesterday. I only bring this up because, again, Rajesh mentioned in our discussion last night that yes, that the head-to-head that wins pretty tough. So if the camera ever gets muffled, we always mention it. We do have a strong wind, so we'll try to speak up when we feel it in our face. But Rajesh had a great point that yes, Isner has an 8-3 head-to-head, 9-3 if you include college, like our rule Fallen had indicated. However, like Rajesh quoted, Anderson is a different player this year, at least in the past 12-18 months, than he has ever been.
Right, which is why I picked him.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I totally agree with Rajesh here. He is absolutely 100% correct that Anderson is a different player right now than he's ever been before. Right?
Totally agree, yes.
Okay. So, great point. He's absolutely right. And I agree with him. And again, his forecast that Djokovic will face or end up facing him in the final, and that Djokovic will win this. I've discussed Djokovic as my favorite since before this tournament started, but we'll get into that as well. So for the Anderson-Isner match, first of all, again, we mentioned the big serving and how long these matches can go, and if it goes late, then it can get very late, and that's what happened. So, by the way, during this match, I had the luxury, and I mentioned this it has nothing to do with the match per se, but it kind of does. So, during this match, I had the luxury of looking at, no offense necessarily personally, but I had the luxury of looking at Justin Gimelstob about 755 times. All right, I don't know if you know who Gimelstob is, if you watched this video, but, American tennis player, nothing against him personally, but, how do I put this into words? So I get to look at him every time the camera pans out, and I see this dude sitting here
with glasses and a
suit, glasses, trying to be like Borg-like sitting there. You got Borg in there. You got all these people sitting around. You got Gimelstob over there. First of all, didn't we have a Gimelstob issue back when Anna Kournikova was playing, where he basically called her, I think the word is, quote, a douche, and that he wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole, but maybe his little brother could.
And reap the benefits of it.
And reap the benefits.
I read it.
Yeah. So furthermore, besides his colorful comments, and I use colorful because I think, and there was a political speech a little while ago, maybe a few years ago, that I kind of admired, where someone called someone else's comments colorful. So I'm going to use the same word because the same person that used the words colorful to describe that leader's comments of someone else, I would describe his comments towards the young ladies colorful. Just ridiculous. Anyway, furthermore, I think also he spoke out politically about our previous president. Not that again, this has nothing to do with politics. I could care less. I don't care as long as my family's eating and we can play tennis and everybody's happy. I don't care. I don't even want to talk about it. But when you call out a politician and you're a tennis player that is just subpar at best and thinks he's cool, but he's really not, I think it's pretty sad. Furthermore, I think there was also some locker room issues back in the day where he addressed the fact that, hey, don't professional athletes only do this so they can drink beer, quote unquote, and look at pretty girls, so therefore, we're not, and I think there was some homophobic things that he discussed at one point in time, but I'm not going to get into that. However, if you simply remember that or look it up, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Nonetheless,
who is Gimelstob? Gimelstob didn't do shit.
Yeah,
Sorry, but he didn't do anything for tennis. He came up in my generation. When I was in New York, he was up in New York. He was with James Blake. That era. He didn't do anything in tennis. I mean, he was a lot worse than Robert Ginepri. He did a lot more for tennis. Blake did a lot more for tennis, and so did Marty Fish. Who is Gimelstob? He couldn't even play tennis. Well, he got lucky that he even played on the court. And he's a commentator that sucks.
I think he went to high school in New Jersey to some academy. He played a year at UCLA, if I remember correctly, and then he went pro. And then here are, and I'm only mentioning this because if I'm watching center court Wimbledon and I'm watching it until it's, I forgot what the set score was, 20.
That was ridiculous.
Okay, look,
23, 24, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go 8 pages just to keep notes, so it ended up, and I'm not going to read all this, but it ended up 6 hours and 37 minutes the match, and ended 26-24 in the 5th. Now, first of all, wow, can you really expect Anderson now to take 1 day rest? And usually the second day after a workout like that is actually worse on your body than the first one.
No.
You go lift weights, you go run whatever, you do a marathon 1 day, and the next day you still feel okay, and then the second day you wake up and you're like, dang, I'm sore. So Anderson has really, in my opinion, no shot, and we're going to get into that, of beating
whoever
wins on Sunday. But let me tell you Justin Gimelstob's pro statistics. 107 and 172. Okay, so he lost way more matches than he won. Zero Bagel career titles. Highest ranking in the world, a respectable 63.
Okay,
a respectable 63. The furthest reach in any major was the 3rd round. Okay, and we know that he has a very nasty, unprofessional mouth. Yet he got as much coverage in this match than Isner and Anderson got.
First of all,
Why do I got to look at him?
Why would Isner hire him as a coach?
Yeah.
And Isner, you're better off hiring Jim Courier, who actually knows what he's talking about. You're better off hiring Patrick McEnroe or John McEnroe. Heck, go to Todd Martin and call him.
Yeah, I mean,
and call Andy Roddick.
Call Malavale, Washington.
Justin Gimelstob? Give me a break.
Man, come on. Okay, no, I think I remember another comment Gimelstob made back in the day. Something about, don't we just play tennis to drink beer and look at pretty girls? I think it may have just mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Isner, you played a great match.
And he's a gentleman. Isner's a gentleman. Yeah, why would he be with that douchebag?
Yeah,
that's a douchebag.
Yeah, he's the douchebag. If you're going to call out a political person, I think it was President Obama he called out.
I don't
it doesn't
know.
matter.
Who cares? The girl one bothers me more.
But the girl one knocking on her, then calling out and getting political, and then you sit in this booth like Huck with dark glasses, trying to look all Mr.
First of all, what can he teach Isner? What can he tell him?
Yeah, what are you going to teach him? Hey, drink this beer because it tastes better than that one?
No, but what can he really tell him to improve his game? There's nothing that guy can do for his game.
Is Isner married?
Yes, he just got
married.
So
I wonder if Isner's wife cares for the comments that his coach used to say about Kornikova.
I'm still baffled at how I didn't even know that was Isner's coach. How can he hire him?
I don't get it.
He's better off without a coach. He's going to hire that guy.
The fact of the matter is that the reason why I even mentioned it is when I'm watching a match that long and I have to see this guy the whole time, at least let it be someone Borg-like or McEnroe-like or Lendl.
I'd rather see Ivan Lendl, who had the serious face with Andy Murray.
Yeah, give me Becker or someone over there. Give me Edberg. I don't even care if Federer's watching and he doesn't even coach, but he has no reason to get that much camera time because he's a douche and he is.
Man, I prefer watching Richard Williams when he used to walk with his banners.
Whatever.
When his girls played.
Anyway, I just had to mention that. So look, the match went very long. Anderson took the first set 7-6. Isner took the second 7-6. Isner took the third 7-6. Here we go, and at 3 hours in, we're in the fourth set, and it's 2-2. And Anderson breaks Isner. You think the fourth set's going to be over, but they exchange breaks on a very rare type of a deal, right? And then I have a note here. Check it out. Geez, more Gimelstob. I wrote it in there. More Gimelstob. I got so annoyed after 5 hours of looking at this guy. I just wanted to puke. So I almost wanted to turn the TV off and just listen to the radio, but I didn't. I wanted to see the match. So, and I wrote this note too. If I had to bet on Carla playing Justin Gimelstob in a match, I think I would put my car for her to win easily, like 4-4. It would happen.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I just don't get. I didn't even know that was Isner's coach.
You don't.
I'm just shocked that he would pick someone like that.
What is this, like a buddy road trip? You just want your buddy to roll along with you?
He can't teach you anything.
Come on, man.
He can't teach. Obviously, he didn't teach him anything because all he was doing was serving and.
Not knocking him personally again, but his attitude, when you can sense it, you can watch it, you can feel it.
He's arrogant. And you can see he's arrogant.
Yeah, and the vibe that you get from that guy that we watched 8 million times today during a 6.5-hour match.
Like I said, I'd rather watch Ivan Lendl with his stone cold face. At least he had no emotions, and you didn't know whether the guy was happy or mad. I prefer seeing that.
Yeah. So anyway, I hate to break topic with that, but I mean, geez, at least give me 5 minutes to talk about it when I had to watch it for 6.5 hours. I mean, Gimelstob, no offense to you personally, but geez, Isner.
You're lucky to have a job at Tennis Channel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I can think of a million other players that could be in that spot.
Yeah.
I mean, better players than him.
Whatever. Yeah. Commentary is subject as well. I won't get into all that, but I think we do a better job commentating on the highlights than that guy. Anyway, quick note. This is an important note. The match was long enough today that Carla and I were able to leave.
I left. He stayed. I left.
Well, no, let me finish.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, you're talking about from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from the beginning of the day. So we got up early to start covering this and to start. The kids are out and are fixing to go somewhere for a little while. I think
it started
for
7,
about 10 days. So
7 Central here.
So we're running and the match started and we say, okay, well let's just hit record, go play a set so we can keep our head-to-head competition going. Come back, we'll finish watching the match, and then she can go to the grocery store. I'll write the show out, and then we'll come back and finish like the Nadal Djokovic match. We do all of that. We play the match, we come back, we fast forward to where we caught up with it live, and before you know it, it's 5 hours later. She had already left after the match that we played, gone to the store with one of our kids.
I went to 4 different stores.
4 different stores. Came back home, put everything up. I had finished writing the show.
Better kids.
Finished writing the show. Well, not really, because I was still looking at Gimelstob. Anyway, and still caught up with it live again, and then got to watch all of the Nadal Djokovic match.
Which I'm so bummed out about. Oh, so mad about that.
So for Carla and I's match, and I'm checking time one more time, okay? So we have about 15 minutes. So we're going to try to make this one show, I hope, because it's been a long day. So Carla and I's match, again, she is up 3-1 on me in the past 4 sets. She had a 6-3, she had a 6-1, and a 6-4, and I had 1-6-2. So we go out this morning, and I made sure I kept notes in this mentally and then put them on paper. Please correct me if I'm wrong on any of them, okay? So Carla started serving, and she was up 1-0. Okay, you started serving.
Well, yeah, I was down 15-40, but
well,
yes,
I'm gonna get there. Look, you just tell me if I'm wrong anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you just interjected. No, but let me. I'm gonna flow the match. All right. So she started serving, and she held, and it put her up 1-0. Now I have an asterisk. I had 2 break points in this service game at 15-40. At 15-40, I dinked a ball into the net. At 30-40, I told myself, Justin, don't push your way out of this break. Go ahead and hit the ball. What happened again? Dinked another return in the net. Got to deuce. She ended up holding. So 2 break points squandered. I should have been up 1-0, obviously, but I coughed up 2 easy break points. Next game, I hold my serve. I think it was somewhat routine, and it was 1-1. So we are on serve at 1-1, correct?
Yes.
All right. So at 1-1, Carla served, and I had a break point at 30-40. Break point at 30-40, okay? What happened? Pushed another one into the net. And I told myself, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep pushing these break points into the net? Over like the past 3 sets I've lost. Pushed another one into the net, okay? So now, okay, I held my serve, you held your serve. I had a break point. Okay, so now she held, and she was up 2-1. Right? However, it should have been 3-0 me, because I had 3 break points up to this point already. Should have been 3-0 me, but instead I'm down 1-2. Okay? So then she serves at 1-2. No. Carla served. You served in, right? I had a break point 30. Okay. Then I served. At 40-15. Double faulted at 40-15. Yay? Then I had another hold point at 40-30 and missed a sitter forehand. Remember, I hit it long, like 4 feet long. Like, I had a nice serve, came in behind it, nice sitter forehand, and blasted it.
Yeah, after you hit that shot, I said, this is going to be easy.
Okay? Then we go back to the deuce court, double fault again. 2 double faults, and then I dropped my serve out of sheer frustration. So now I am down 1-3. So I'm down 1-3, and it should be 4-0 me. So instead of me being up 4-0, I'm down 1-3. So she served at 3-1, and I had 2 more break points. Okay? At 30-40, I had a break point, and at out, I had a break point. I dumped 2 backhand returns, dinked them into the net. She served out wide of my backhand into the ad court. Net. Tried to hit another one, clipped the tape. Okay? 2 more break points. So now, okay, I fell to 1-4 down, and I should have been up 5 love. Should have been up 5-0.
Oh, well.
Should have been up 5-0, okay? So at that point, I was just really upset, and I usually don't let my racket leave my hand, and I had one that left my hand and went over the fence into the woods. I apologize for doing that. But
I didn't even know he did that.
She didn't hear it because I didn't yell into it.
I was busy laughing.
I was just like, and just threw it.
Well, I told you you're having a bad day of tennis, and don't worry about it. It happens.
I mean, at the end of the day, when I dropped to 4-1, I got mental, and I felt like I'd never ever stepped on a tennis court ever in my life. So I knew in my head I should have been up 5-0. I knew it. I knew I should have been up 5-0. I knew it. 5 break points and two hold service points at 40-15 throughout the first 5 games. Squandered.
And that's probably how Nadal feels right now.
Okay. Just ridiculous. I felt like I never played before. She took the set 6-1 And in all honesty, I should have bageled her. That's how it rolls on the tennis court, though, and unfortunately...
That's how it happens.
That's how it rolls.
And I don't even feel proud about that. I wasn't playing well, but he was playing a lot worse, so... Hey, I take the 6-1. Now it's 4-1.
Anyways, back to the Anderson-Isner match. So, in the fourth set, they exchanged some breaks right off where I felt like that set should have ended a lot quicker. But we were still on track for, nonetheless, the typical 7-6 set that we're all promised when we meet big servers. Again, no problem with that. It's a great tactic. But sometimes when you have two consistent big servers and they face off, it can get really long. Isner started to look a little bit sluggish to me in the fourth set, especially when they were exchanging breaks. And I said, man, there's no way Isner is going to win this match at this point. I thought he was going to lose it quickly in the fifth. And then, of course, the unthinkably long set that, honestly, I just wanted, like, even though we had caught up to it live after, like, 5 hours of our day, I still, when it got to be, like, 15-16, no disrespect, but I still wanted to wish I could still fast forward it,
well,
and I couldn't.
Actually, you called me at 11-12 or something like that, and you said, don't tell me the score, don't tell me the score. And I said, you know you're going to be there sitting another hour, right? Because I already had checked the score on the site.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly long, and again, don't forget that Isner's been through this before with Mahout. Went 70, 68 in the fifth, and it took like 11 hours to span 2 days or something. I mean, there's tradition, I think, with forming a tiebreaker, and I think at least at this point it should be discussed. And look, if it was Nadal and Djokovic playing the match, would we be more in favor still of no tiebreaker, or are we just saying no tiebreaker because it was two kind of semi-boring players to watch?
No, I think that they should not have that rule. That's ridiculous. We're putting out two people. It doesn't. I mean, Nadal and Djokovic went also at the Australian Open. They went. I don't know how many games they went, but I think there should be a tiebreaker after every set. I don't like that rule that whoever wins by 2 on the fifth set. I don't like that rule at all. These guys are busting their butts. 3 out of 5 sets is tough on a man, especially 2 weeks into the tournament. They need to put the tiebreaker. That's ridiculous. And thanks to this stupid rule, these guys have to come back the next day. Nadal and Djokovic should finish their match. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that because for me, there's 2 sides to every story. I guess on one side, you could say, well, it's my fault that I let it go that long. I could have been better and closed earlier. I guess you could say that. And if you had 2 people debating it, I guess one could say that and one could say, oh, well, screw you. Well, furthermore, though, we want to see a good final.
We're not going to see a good final.
And we're probably not going to see a great one.
We're not going to see a good final.
Because of what I said. After you spend 6.5 hours grinding it out on the court and serve your butt off, and the second day, just by mere physiology, the second day, generally, your body's worse off than it was the first day after the match. I think Anderson is going to be at a serious disadvantage whoever he plays against. So I think give him an extra day off or maybe a week off.
First of all, he played Federer. Federer's match was long,
yeah.
And it was like 13-something, I think, or 15-something. I mean, the guys played a lot of hours. They need to eliminate that rule at Wimbledon, French, Australian, U.S. Open. No good.
All right, so as this fifth set drug on, I really want to get this into one show, so I'm trying. As the fifth set came in, it was 4 hours in. 4 hours in, the fifth set began. 4 hours. I wrote it down. Unfortunately, and I wrote it again, I had to look at more Gimelstob. Okay? More Gimelstob. Okay? Jeez, enough with Gimelstob. And look, I don't want to disrespect. I'm not disrespecting anyone. And I know that Gimelstob is coaching Isner. But my thing is why? And then why he's not a king of Britain. And look, if the Queen was sitting in that stadium, I saw Gimelstob on that television more than the darn Queen if she would have been there. I saw Gimelstob after every point. Anyway, so I just don't feel like he's the most humble guy in the world. But anyway, as the match progressed on 4 hours into the fifth set, at this point, Isner had 43 aces in the match. He had 204 for the tournament, and the record was 212 preceding that. So at 6 hours in to the match, which was 2 hours after I wrote this down, it was 20-20 in the fifth set. Yes, 20-20. Isner sets the record with 214 aces within one tournament at 21-21 in the fifth. Oh my goodness!
Who cares about the record? I'd rather win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's a good. No, I'm saying it's a great record.
Sure, but I doubt he really cares about that.
Can you imagine that?
No. poor arm.
All right.
I'm sure his arm's hurting and Anderson's arm's hurting, and I feel bad for both of them. More for Isner than anything.
Yeah, so at 22-22, there was a definite body language change. Anderson looked like he was still ready, and Isner looked a little removed.
He looked wiped.
He looked a little
out.
removed.
Yes.
So finally at 24-24, we saw, I guess, the last glimmering hope of Isner trying to move around a little bit. Got down low 40. Anderson broke him there and then served out the match. So I'm going to just skip talking about it. I'm sure everyone has seen it, but I want to say one thing and say it quickly. That the interview that I saw after the match that involved Kevin Anderson was some of the best sportsmanship I've ever seen in my entire life. Kevin Anderson, standing ovation for your interview.
Yeah, he didn't
You want to
even.
tell him what he said?
He didn't. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, "I don't want to be too happy about it." You know, he's like, "There's a guy that lost. I won." He's like, first of all, matches shouldn't go this far. You know, there should be a rule implemented. I mean, you could tell he felt bad for Isner. You know, but he was happy to get through, but.
Yeah.
It was just too long. So long that it irritated me.
Well, Anderson, when he interviewed for me,
I don't remember everything he said.
What was so empathetic, so sympathetic, that his statement was along the lines of, after something like that, it becomes more than physical. It becomes physical, emotional, and a lot more. They fought really, 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 really hard, and after a match like that, he indicated that it's not, you don't even want anybody to lose at that point, but unfortunately someone has to, and that happened to him. They played each other in college, they've known each other a long time, and the way that he said it made me feel like he is a heck of a good guy, and that he has the most respect for Isner that you could imagine.
He does. I feel so bad for Isner because he had his opportunities, even at the fifth set. He had quite a few opportunities, but he was tired, and even if he would have won this match, he would have had nothing left in the tank for the next round.
Yeah, so the final might be suspect because of that, but great job, Isner, great job. I don't get the Gimelstob thing. I don't know, maybe I'm just an idiot.
Hire Jim Courier.
Yeah, look at Martin Courier, Malavey Washington, heck, Zenit Garrison, look at Sampras, Agassi even, Cahill.
Go with Jimmy Connors. Go.
Yeah, I mean,
Patrick McEnroe. There's a lot better choices out there.
Any of these guys, but I think a lot of people pretty much would agree that Gimelstob's kind of a bozo.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what you're doing with that.
I don't even want to talk about it.
No offense. All right, so great job. Next, we had Nadal and Djokovic, so I'm going to kind of speed through this one so we can make it one show. I started late, possibly wouldn't finish today, and yes, it did not finish. I told Carla before this started I felt like I agree with Rajesh and that Djokovic would win this match easily. Well, the first set...
it was long.
Yeah, first set was long. Rafa was all over him. I mean, not Rafa, but Djokovic was all over Rafa, picking on his backhand,
and his serve, too. Nadal's serve was not on.
Yeah, Nadal's serve was off. Plus, they started the match maybe 4 or 5 hours late. I think Djokovic was playing marbles, as I saw in a video. I'm sure Nadal, being a perfectionist, had scheduled a mental...
That bothered him.
Yeah, I'm sure it threw him off because Nadal is like straightening his bottles and everything has to be perfect. I know the feeling. I have a son that does that. And if it's not perfect, it doesn't always go your way. So I feel like Nadal in the first set was off, and probably because of the timing. He dug in the second set.
He did. He was in trouble still, but he dug in and he pulled it out on the second.
Yeah, in the second set, I was really amazed. It's the first time I've seen in a while the roof shut, because for this 2 weeks tournament, there has been no rain to cause the roof to shut, and the lights and the sound was nice in there, so it was nice to see. But I think Nadal capitalized in the second set because Djokovic got a little frustrated. There were so many break points that he missed. Djokovic was all over all of his service games. Break point here, break point there, break point here, break point there, break point here, break point there. Not converted.
And that's a bad feeling.
So he finally got frustrated, and Nadal kind of pounced on that. But then I think they broke. I think one of them dropped serve, and then Nadal capitalized, and they broke back. But nonetheless, in the second set, Nadal ended off with a 6-3 victory. So odd to say this, and I'm just checking time. So we are at 29. So I'll see if I can get through it. So odd to say this, but after this point in the day watching it, I was really tired of watching tennis.
So was I.
We played it, we talked it, we wrote it, and after 10 hours of it or so, we were kind of ready. But the third set finished off in a tiebreaker, so Djokovic took that tiebreaker and is now up 2-1. But we'll see what happens.
Much respect to both of them, man. Those guys have the best footwork I've ever seen. For any coaches out there, have your students watch these two guys. They run for everything.
Yeah,
they
man.
don't.
I'll tell you what.
You think you got them? Get ready for the next point. They're great examples of that, and I'm impressed with Djokovic the way he returns. Amazing.
Yeah, Djokovic looked pretty good again. He still looks a little thin to me.
It's gonna be tough for Nadal to come back, but I think he can do it. But I think Djokovic has that. I don't know. I think he might beat him.
Yeah, we'll see. 2-1. Nadal's so strong. He always will grind it out. But we'll see what happens. So it's 2-1 Djokovic, and the match will resume tomorrow.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to watch it.
Yeah, we got some stuff to do, so we'll have to listen to it on the radio, right?
Yes, we will.
All right, well, getting through. Good job, Rahesh, in guessing this one. I think you're on par for the Anderson Djokovic final that you called. One tidbit, and I have to check time. We got about 2 minutes, okay? One tidbit, and I'm going to make this 30 seconds. I noticed that the Wilson Roger Federer 97 tennis racket was $269.
Wow.
Huh? That's crazy. Look, that's crazy. Anyway.
Well, you know who's going to be buying the rackets. They're going to be a lot of country clubbers.
Look, if you or your kid buys a racket for $260,
you better be a solid player.
No, look, put it this way: you're not a solid player. Otherwise, you would know not to buy a racket that costs that much.
His rackets are tough to play with.
They weigh like 13 grams. I mean, or 13 ounces, 12.7, I think. I forget the quality of the racket. I think it's a great racket. But all I'm saying is you have to be ridiculously naive if you buy a $269 tennis racket. You can get a lights-out tennis racket strung. I mean, bomb setup for way less than that.
Half
strung.
the price.
Gee whiz. You got to work on your prices, Wilson, because that's crazy. Crazy. $269? Man, come on. I find that on eBay. All right, so tiebreaker in the fifth set. Let's discuss that. Comment about that. Is it time to change for the majors? The U.S. Open has the tiebreaker in the fifth. The rest of them do not. Is it time? Is it time to change that? U.S. Open is the only one with the tiebreaker.
It is time to change it. Yes, I think even McEnroe said it. It's time to change it.
All right, so let's discuss that. Click a like below on that. Subscribe below on that. Comment on that. We're going to have the resumption of this match tomorrow we were discussing, Djokovic, Nadal, and then also we have the women's final, which is Serena against Kerber. So we look forward to that. She picked Kerber. I picked Serena to win that. Victoria Azarenka and Jamie Murray are doubles partners. Andy Murray's younger brother. They are going to the finals. Mixed doubles. Great job.
That's awesome. And
16-year-old Jack Draper saved 9 match points. He's a British young man junior to go to the Wimbledon boys final. 16
awesome.
Saved 9 match points. Great job. Hey, I think we got through this in one show. Appreciate you watching. And as this beautiful young lady always says,
adios.
Click a like below, subscribe below, and take care. See you later, guys.